Otherworldlyculture.com. TomSavini.com.
Ooh.
I'm trying. And Umpire and Vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 1996 Dusk Till Dawn and the 2008 Leatherheads, starring George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Jim from The Office, Renee Zellweger, the sex machine himself, Tom Savini, and Juliette Lewis. Now two guys who now know better than to stay at any strip club if the main attraction is a stripper with a snake, even if she's as smoking hot as Selma Hayek. Tim Kretschmann and Jeff Miller. There you go, right?
You tell me if you were at the Tennyson and there's Selma Hayek with a snake.
No.
You're saying
I'm out.
You're out.
I saw this movie, that's why I'm out. If I don't see this movie, I'm pot committed. But no. This movie may have saved my life. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I seem to think like I'm saving your life on a week-to-week basis.
You
really?
Think so?
I do, because I get. Wait, listen.
See?
We're supposed to start the show.
So, anyways, the way this show works, I don't know if anyone.
First, we have to tell them the name of the show.
Yep, it's called
Dead on the Bases.
Dead on the Bases.
Yes.
Well, you do that better than me.
You know what? That was just a luck of the draw. I wasn't thinking it. I just pointed in some direction.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you could just point back here.
And nobody can see it back there.
But anyways, here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
If you're new to the show,
Yeah.
we have two genres. We have sports and we have horror.
Right.
I'm a sports person who doesn't really watch horror movies, so I'm subjected to a horror movie each week. I give you my...
Treated. The word was treated.
Right.
Treated.
I give you my opinion of a horror movie from a guy who doesn't watch horror movies. Tim, on the other hand, gives you his opinion of a sports movie because he loves horror. Gives you his opinion of sports movies, even though he doesn't really... That's not his first...
I don't go to sports.
No.
Except for All-Star Wrestling.
And Cherokee.
Now, parakeet...
How come I never can remember
tractor pulls.
Yeah.
I love it.
And curling. He likes curling.
Now, I do, but...
Check out his hair.
You know what? Thanks. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but Jeff designed the baseball diamond at one time using graph paper, a protractor, and a jar of chewing tobacco.
Oh, very good.
I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know.
You didn't know that you did that?
Did you hear one of the things now baseball's going to start up now? They've come to agreement. They're making the base bigger.
What?
They're making the bases bigger.
Why? For the seeing impaired?
I don't understand. I don't get it.
They're making the bases bigger. Is this so that they need to add asterisks next to every goddamn statistic?
Well, Tim, they're also banning the bunt. You can no longer bunt
You're
the ball.
making this shit up now.
100% true. It's 100% true. They're banning the shift, meaning that you can't...
What's a shift?
Okay, that's when you bring all your ball players to one side of the field because that hitter is a pull hitter, so he's 99% of the time he's going to pull the ball in that direction. They're all along that too.
They did a shift when I used to bat,
Here we go.
But it was just moving in closer. He's never hit it past the pitcher's mound.
That's pretty
Let's
good.
go in. That was the shift for me.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
They knew I was the shift.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah. I write my own material, and it's evident.
It is.
It is evident.
But wait, before we start...
Yes. We haven't even introduced the movie, so I think we should, though, talk a little bit about the realm of horror.
Yes! Yes, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted.
We're in sync. Just like the owners, the owners and the players of baseball. We're on the same page.
They're not even the same larger page. But yeah, so we, Tim and I... What's that, Tim? What's that hum noise?
I think when I move this...
Okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it like did a thing.
Anyways, Tim and I were out in Pittsburgh this past weekend, and we attended Horror Realm. We didn't just attend Horror Realm; we were part of it.
We were very involved, and we want to thank Rich, Michelle, and Sandy for
Yep,
inviting
thank
us
you.
on out. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yes, it was a great time.
Yeah, I mean, driving out there, we got to see all the great gas prices, and we went out there. But then we get there, and we're treated so well.
Yep.
And we were able to interact with the celebrities that we both were hosting panels there.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the hell you're doing, so that's great.
It was pretty cool. I had Christina Cleve.
It would be like me interviewing Sal Bando.
Oh.
You know, it'd be like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to him anyways. He was a terrible general manager when he was with the Brewers. But anyways,
I wouldn't have known
but
that.
anyways, I got Christina Cleve, who was in Rob Zombie's Halloween. So it was really cool to talk to her. And you had...
I had David Naughton, the star of American Werewolf in London, the titular star. And from Fright Night, 1985, we had William Ragsdale, Amanda Bierce, Stephen Jeffries, and Jonathan Stark.
You know, and it was cool because I went to that first horror realm and I went to this one. But what I liked about this is I was able to actually get to other panels. I saw the panel with Kane Hodder in there, the guy who played Jason like four times in a row or 5 times.
Yeah.
That was actually a really cool panel.
Yeah.
He turned out to be a really great guy. I saw the Bai Ling panel that Rich did.
We saw the Tiffany Shepis panel, which no one else will ever see.
Tiffany Shepis is cool, though.
She's
cool.
Really cool. She hangs out with all the people all the time.
And Tim, what was the coolest
costume? She acts like she's normal.
Right? What was the coolest costume that you saw during the costume party? I know mine. It might be the same.
I did like the Chucky. I like the Chucky and Child's Play. Yep. I think I know which one you're going to say.
Oh, yeah. The guy who... He was being part of, what was the Summers family? What was the family in Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I don't know that he's officially part of that.
All right. Well, anyways, he plays a hillbilly that has a scarecrow like burlap sack on his head. But the cool thing is he's holding a pot, and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So he's like making chili, whatever. He's holding this pot of chili. They're like, check it out. So I open it up. And all of a sudden, the chili comes shooting out at you. The guy actually has his hand inside the pot, and that's the chili. It was really cool.
It was like a puppet type situation.
It was a puppet, yeah. It was a puppet. It was really cool.
And Jeff jumped. I think his vertical leap was pretty good. And I say that, I jumped too. The first time I saw it, I was like, what? But I was seated, and as you know, there's a lot of inertia that needs to be broken before I move. But I moved pretty quick too. It was great.
And being a baseball fan, I was out there. I got to go to the Hannes Wagner Museum, which was really cool. It was a lot.
And what were those bats you were swinging?
Those are both bats that he used. One of them actually was a pick handle. He didn't have a bat, so he's just like, I'll just use this pick handle. So he played ball with a pick handle. And then the other bat was actually one of his bats.
Well, I think one of the things we'll be talking about is in sports, how rules have changed over the years.
Leatherhead, nice.
And Leatherhead's really spotlights that well. And, we were talking about bats, and that leads us to our other movie, From Dusk Till Dawn, which is a great vampire film. Both of them this week. George Clooney week.
Yeah.
Here on the show. So we had Kevin Costner week before we went to our realm. We come back and it's another theme week. George Clooney.
I have plenty to say about this. Plenty. But let's start with Leatherheads.
What? You say that like you're going to say something mean.
No.
And I know you're not.
You don't know.
I know you're not because that's a great movie.
Why did I pick that movie? Why did I want to see that? I never saw it, but why did I want to see it?
I think we all know.
For one reason.
I think we all know. Actually,
it was this movie.
Actually, technically, it was 2 reasons. And we're going now to Leatherheads. That was my first one of the day. Thank you. Want to remind you all, if you want to reach us, Tim at otherworldlyculture.com. Of course, Jeff is Jeff at otherworldlyculture.com.
Clever.
If you send email to Trogdor at otherworldlyculture.com, it will be sent back to you. We are doing the movie from 2008, Leatherheads. I'll put the clips to
I can watch
entertain Jeff. So, first of all, I think everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Universal. This is a Universal film.
I didn't know that.
It was directed by George the Animal Clooney. I don't know. I thought of George the Animal Steel.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
He's a wrestler. He was very hairy.
Yes, great guy though.
He always wore a black unitard or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Anyway, George Clooney
don't
directed
dismiss
this.
me like that. I got some game when it comes to wrestling too.
No, nobody is ever questioning you when it comes to sports.
Dissing me on that. Yeah.
No, when it comes to sports, I just walk away because, honest to goodness, what did you ask Christina Kleeb?
I asked her who her favorite sports team was.
Right. He was ready for every eventuality except for what happened.
Except for basketball.
He knew the Yankees. He was able to, just blast out a bunch of stats.
The Giants, I was right, the Jets. But no, she throws basketball. My least watched sport. Yes. I love basketball, but not that much that I know anything about it.
Right. That you could just blast this out. So,
but by the same token, she didn't know who Giannis was.
She didn't know who Giannis was?
Freak was. Come on.
Well, we didn't ask her if she knew who Tom Savini was.
I didn't.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know.
She
because
knows who
people
I am,
usually come to Pittsburgh to see you, Jeff.
She knows who I am now.
She does. She does. Okay. Well, this was an interesting movie to me from a historical perspective.
Okay.
Because it really shows that one time in this country, college football was actually more prestigious than pro football.
Isn't that something? That amazed me when I watched this.
But it felt true to me.
It was.
And I'll tell you why. Because I've watched a lot of movies from that time frame. That's when the Marx Brothers made Horse Feathers, which you really should assign me someday. Do you know which one Horse Feathers is? Marx Brothers? Groucho takes over a college. And the whole second half of the movie is a football game, a college football game. Right. And it's like Bugs Bunny would do a football game. Really? It's just nuts. But anyway, you could see how big it was in that movie portraying what college football was and, the big coats and all that stuff, the big fur coats. So that was really interesting to me.
They open it with it. They show you a college stadium, and then they go switch over to a pro game, and it's something else.
And it looked like less than a single A baseball team crowd. It was definitely less than like a high school.
Oh god!
It was like.
It was like a pickup game. It's like a pickup game. It's like you go get 10 friends, I'll get 10 friends. Let's go play football.
Yeah. And everybody was getting injured and teeth coming out. Yep. And they made reference to it that if somebody got their tooth knocked out, they got extra money.
Yep.
I was thinking, that's like the Pirates, not the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nope. I'm talking about actual Pirates. They used to have contracts that if you lost your eye, you got this much extra booty. And
really?
They were the first ones to come up with insurance.
Really?
Was pirates. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm filled with knowledge over here, Jeff.
Are they the ones who invented the booty
I'm
call?
over here with knowledge. I'm just busting it out.
Are they the ones who came up with the booty call?
That's where it is. Anyway. I just see in our chat, George the Animal Steel was actually a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah, he taught people to eat ring, those corner ropes. Yes, what are those called? The turnbuckle.
Turnbuckle.
He would eat the turnbuckle. What a classy guy.
He was.
Yeah, a classy guy. So, okay. Movie is...
Leatherheads.
Yeah, we're talking about Leatherheads up until the last 30 minutes. Let me talk about some of the other stars in the movie. Okay. Yeah, Renee Zellweger. This movie was pretty much... she was pretty much at the top of her career at this point. She had already made McGuire, and I think Bridget Jones' Diary was right about this time. So this Renee Zellweger, take a look. She didn't have that long of a career. I mean, she just recently made Judy, which kind of regenerated interest in her.
Yeah.
But she had a very short window. Like, I'm sorry to say this, a lot of female actresses, it's like, oh, they're cute from here to here, and then they dispose of them. That's what Hollywood's like. So this was kind of in the middle of the Renee Zellweger years. So she was in this, and a great character actor that I absolutely love, Jonathan Pryce. He played Cece, the manager of who is arguably the supporting star, Jim Krasinski. Jim Krasinski, of course, most people know from The Office. He's Halpert in there. But Jonathan Pryce, I just absolutely love. And I got to be careful what I say because I'm going to give away my horror movie connections here.
Okay.
But he has a few. But I loved him from a movie called Brazil.
I know that movie.
And he's the star of that movie. And I absolutely love it. He's been in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's kind of like that British guy that's a prick. That's him. And he does a great job of that. And we get Stephen Root back, who is in Dodgeball.
Yep.
He's back in this movie. So a solid cast. Solid cast.
Solid.
Then you also have, do you remember the scene in the Speakeasy?
Yes.
Did you notice the piano player?
I did, but...
The guy playing the piano was Randy Newman, who
really?
also wrote the music for this movie. Randy Newman is probably best known for the song Short People.
Yes! Yeah,
No Reason.
Yeah.
He also wrote all the music for Toy Story.
Didn't know that.
I got a friend in you. Yeah. So, and most importantly, his top credit. Can anybody in the chat room guess? We got one person there. Anybody want to guess? His top credit, he wrote all the songs. All of them for Cop Rock. That's right, Cop Rock.
What's that?
You don't remember Cop Rock?
No. A TV show?
Yeah, it was a TV show. Remember when NYPD Blue, everybody was like, ooh, this is such a racy show. The guy that created it, Steven Bochco, had like all the street cred at the time. He could get made whatever the hell he wanted. And this is well before Glee, right? There hadn't been a musical in forever. He says, I want to do a musical that's a mix of NYPD Blue and a musical.
Really?
And it lasted, I think, 10 episodes. I watched it religiously because there's so few movies or TV shows where you just go like this.
So
I can't believe this is happening.
So was it like watching like an accident you can't look away, or was it like something you really wanted to watch?
Okay, at one scene, they bring in all these hookers for a lineup, and they start singing about how great it is to be a hooker. There's another scene where they're about to go to the verdict, and they go to the jury box, and the guy jumps out of the jury box and he says, "He's guilty, Judge. He's guilty." And there's a whole song about him being guilty. I mean, places in. And it was played very straight, like it was an actual police drama of the time. It felt like another NYPD Blue, but they would break in the song every so often.
Okay,
it was unbelievable. There was one of my favorites. They did a song. There was one guy. He was kind of a schlub, fatter guy, and he was married to a beautiful young woman. Okay, in the police. He was like a detective. She was a street cop. And they showed him trying to get in weight at one of those godforsaken places where they call a gym. And he's thinking about how horrible it is to try to, keep up with this young woman. I love that goddamn thing because he doesn't like exercise either.
Okay, all right.
And it's a hysterical. Most of those songs that they sang, they were more like Weird Al stuff. I mean, it was like and what was funny is they were very funny, very witty, and then it would go right back to Dragnet, you know.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. Great show, folks. I think it's out on YouTube. I don't know why we ended up talking that long about it, but there you go. This is the extra you get here. The other thing that's kind of interesting behind the scenes is George Clooney basically rewrote the entire script. And he was very proud of this and tried to get credit, and he didn't get it. Now, I watched the movie. I think they were helping him.
By not giving him
I did not feel it was a strong script. He seemed to think it was a screwball comedy.
Really?
Here's the thing about screwball comedies.
Yeah.
Generally, they're funny.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
This was not.
It was not. You're right.
And it had opportunities. Okay, I'll give you an example. One of the, I guess you would call montage sequences, is them playing early pro football.
Yep.
And what the point of the montage is that they really hadn't solidified the rules,
right?
And that people were freaking cheating.
Making it up as they go along.
They're just cheating. No, because there's actual rules to football. College football was going on,
right?
But they just decided not to follow them,
right?
Okay, so it's like they were just doing stuff. Here's the thing: none of the little antics they did made me even giggle. I didn't even giggle. And I'm like, this is the montage that should be like the Hanson brothers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you watch that montage from the Hanson brothers, I don't care how bad your day is going, you're gonna laugh. Because they do horrible, horrible things with tinfoil.
Right? They do.
So I was kind of like, this just isn't working. And then they had some good exchange. There was good chemistry between Clooney and Renee Zellweger. They can go back and forth with their dialogue, but it just didn't have a spark of comedy. And I realized it's because the material's so bad. It isn't. They were doing as much as they could, but there was no joke to play to. And, you know, like they have the meet cute moment where he's basically watching her dress down somebody else that's hitting on her.
Right.
Right?
All right. Yep.
That could have been a funny scene. They somehow avoided it. I don't know how. Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's a lot of funny ways to play this.
And he missed every one of them.
I was like, what, was this a challenge? I was sitting there kind of, I remember not being a big fan of this movie, and I just realized I don't have my spotlight on, so I look better.
There you go.
And now I'm sexy.
And you know it.
I do. And I'm kind of like, what the heck? I just like, how do you miss it? Now, again, one of the things that's interesting, there is an interesting story here. Unfortunately, they don't tell it. They're too busy with the Renee Zellweger love triangle thing.
Yep.
Which, were you engaged in that story?
No, not at all.
No. The interesting story is the birth or the genesis of pro football.
Correct. That's what this is going to be about.
And you know what I really saw too? Is in this movie, they really emphasize the one-player mentality that has taken over football. Of that quarterback is the only player type mentality.
Oh.
You don't get that as much in other sports, but in football, in my mind, I'm a casual observer of sports. I don't watch them or anything, but it's like I know who the quarterbacks are of quite a few football teams. If you name them, I can probably figure it out, but I don't know a single other soul, including our local.
No, the quarterback is your main person. The whole play starts with the quarterback.
But you don't see that with like pitchers in baseball. You don't see that in basketball, maybe to a certain extent, if you got a Michael Jordan or somebody like that on your team. But this, like, the whole team holding up this one guy, that was really evident in this film.
Good.
I thought that was interesting. But, here's another. I'm looking through my notes, and it's like, yeah, this was another scene that absolutely didn't work, and it should have worked. And I don't know what they screwed up. But one of the jokes is, or one of the scenes is, George Clooney and Jim Krasinski are going to fight. Okay? Because of the girl, let's face it. That's the real reason they're going to fight. Before they fight, they start saying stuff like, well, don't hit me in the hind quarter because that hurts and my back hurts, so don't hit that. And
you
don't
see where they're going with it.
And then they're like, well, we'll just keep punching each other in the face. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, that could have been a funny scene. They avoided it somehow. I'm like, get Vince Vaughn over there and throw a wrench at him.
You can dodge a wrench.
You can dodge a ball. You know, and just like, there's a joke there. They didn't find it.
They couldn't find it, right?
They didn't find it. It was frustrating to me because I wanted to like this movie more than I did. And that's a shame. Hey, you know what time it is?
Horror Movie Club Connection.
Oh! Okay, how many do you think I found? Did I find a lot or a little? Or what do you think?
Maybe a few. 3, 4.
Okay, I looked at the top 5 people in the movie. Okay? So, let's start with George Clooney, the obvious one. He was in what horror movie about vampires, Jeff?
Well, Tom Cruise did an interview for a vampire.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
What vampire movie is George Clooney in? Vampire movie.
What?
From Dusk Till Dawn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking like it's
You'll hear more. I did that on purpose because I knew it would throw you off.
Tim, I thought you were talking like a vampire movie.
It is a vampire. Okay, we'll have that argument in a minute. He was also in Grizzly 2, the real one, not just that remake. He was in the actual Grizzly 2, uncredited.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
He was in a movie called Return to Horror High. And this is actually one of his bigger credits at the beginning of his career. He was in Return of the Killer Tomatoes, which was the sequel to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which I still know the theme to. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Okay. Then we got Jim Krasinski. Do you think Jim Krasinski has any horror movie cred?
Yes, I do, because you wouldn't be putting it out there if he didn't.
That's good. He was the director of both A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2, and they're actually working on a spin-off right now that I believe he's going to direct that one too. So he's directed horror movies.
Let me guess. A Quiet Place 3?
No, I think what they decided is they're going to move away from
The Quiet Place.
The Quiet Place is going to be a different type of monster or something. I don't know. I haven't assigned those to you.
I don't know if I want to see those.
They're pretty good. The first one is excellent. The second one's pretty good. Renee Zellweger.
She's probably in something.
She is in a famous misfire horror movie. She is in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Her co-star, Matthew McConaughey.
Really?
Both of them before anybody knew who the hell they were.
Really? Wow.
And it's probably the worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Not because it's so gory, because it's so fucking bad.
Worse than the one that's on Netflix now, this new adaptation?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
I gotta take your word for it.
I don't know that I'd find too many people that would fight me on that.
All right.
I think this is pretty well. Actually, I enjoy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation more than most horror fans because I just enjoy the train wreck.
Okay.
I enjoy the train wreck, and it's fun to kind of watch people like Renee Zellweger really having to.
Is that the one, the Sawyers? Is that the Sawyers one? With the chili?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of them. Jonathan Pryce, who we talked about earlier, the British agent for John Krasinski, Cece, he really came to American cinema. This was one of his first big films. He was the star of it. Something Wicked This Way Comes.
I heard about that. That's with a Ferris wheel, right?
Yes, there's a Ferris wheel in it.
Yep. It's about a Ferris wheel.
It's a pretty creepy Ray Bradbury story.
I'll tell you what, I've always
made by Disney at a time where they were just sticking their toe into what does PG feel like.
See, I always wanted to watch that movie just because the box and all that, and something about, I think you go back in time or something. I always wanted to watch it, but I never had the stones to watch it because it's probably too scary for me.
It's creepy. I don't know that it's scary. It does have one of the best spider scenes I've ever seen.
Is it on the Ferris wheel?
No. It's
that Ferris wheel.
I think it's in a bedroom. If I remember,
the Ferris wheel is like the main part of this, right? Because it's on the cover of the book.
It's about a carnival coming to town that he's the leader of, and people just kind of disappear.
Doesn't the Ferris wheel make you go back in time?
I can't remember the details.
I don't know. That's why it freaked me out.
It has been years since I've watched that movie. Right. But he's good in it. He also was in the horror comedy Haunted Honeymoon.
Dan Aykroyd's in that.
Yes. And,
I never saw it, though.
Is that the one with Gene Wilder and Gilda Radner?
Could be.
I'm thinking it is. Also, Stephen Root. Now, we already talked about he was in Dodgeball. I discovered him in Office Space and in News Radio. In News Radio, I thought he was the best.
I love that. I
loved him on News Radio.
Yeah. Phil Hartman.
But Stephen Root was also in one of my favorites by George Romero, who did all the Night of the Living Dead and all that stuff. Okay. Stephen Root was in Monkey Shines, which I am definitely going to assign you sometime because it's one of those movies that it's scary. But when you sit back and you look at it, the idea is so ludicrous, it's hilarious.
All right.
So depending on who we put in the room with you, you're either going to be laughing your ass off or scared. So you should probably watch that with your wife so you can just laugh your ass off.
Or what if I watch with Tango?
Tango will scare you then.
Damn it. All right.
Because it's about a guy that's paraplegic and the monkey takes care of him.
Oh my God. And are you serious?
Yeah, and the monkey starts going wrong.
Okay, I don't want to hear that. All right, I'm already...
Okay, so he was in that movie. He was also in the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. He was in Night of the Scarecrow, and most recently, he was in the Oscar-nominated film Get Out. I think it even won a Oscar.
Are you telling me that the same guy that was in News Radio...
Yes.
Was he the guy with the red stapler in Office Space?
Yes.
Get out of here. That's the same guy?
That's the same guy. He's a great actor.
Wow.
He's a great actor.
Holy cow. I see this.
Now you made the connection, and that's why we call it the Horror Movie Connection. Oh, yeah!
Oh, my God.
Are you excited?
Yeah, my headache was almost gone.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore, brother. So, I guess I should probably give her a grade.
Oh, no, it's a number gate. Remember, it's numbers. Your other
I know what I'm doing. Yes, yeah. It's a letter.
No.
And this one, we do numbers.
Yeah.
I've been going back and forth.
I know what you should give it.
I'm going to be kind.
Oh, good.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Oh.
I was going to give it a 3.
Really?
Here's the thing.
All right.
Here's the thing. If the movie would have chosen a lane, had it decided we're going to be all in on this romantic comedy and we're going to make it funny,
you're right.
I would have went with it. If it would have said we're going to be a historical story, I would have went with it.
Yep.
It didn't choose a lane, and it didn't do either very well.
Tim, you know what? When you say it that way, you're exactly right. It doesn't pick what it wants to be. And now that you've given your number, I can confess that when I rewatched this, I fell asleep. I did, but I didn't want to give you that out originally.
Right,
right. It's not that good of a movie. It's not that great because of why exactly why you said it didn't choose its identity. It didn't.
I'll tell you another thing too. They had Newman doing the music. Can you remember any of it?
No.
That was a great time for music, and
God, yeah.
I do think the cinematography was good. I think you felt like you were in the 1910s, 1920s there.
20s, yep.
I think it's very early 20s was the feel I was getting.
Well, it's 1925, so you're right.
Really?
Yeah.
It felt like early 20s.
I'm just saying.
But, yeah, but that's the vibe I got off of it without looking it up and everything. I thought I did a good job. There's a lot of muted colors because back then they boiled their clothes and there wasn't colorful clothing.
They
really
just didn't pick a lane.
So I was like, there's a lot of stuff to like here, except for the movie.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's a shame.
When I was rewatching it, I'm
like, a lot of talented people. Oh my God, talented people.
Yep.
But anyway, you know what time it is.
Yep.
It's time for us to take a break and talk about something we call Merch Madness.
I love Merch Madness.
Okay, let's see what we have this week for everybody.
There's a new merch in
You
town.
can do it.
Let's make some merch money.
There
Look
it
at
is.
this sexy
that
thing.
so far.
You could be wearing this
Make
on a
you
shirt
sexy.
very soon. It's our new merch. Get your Dead on the Bases merch right now,
Look at that, baby.
and you can
Open it up, mosquito style.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I have a history of
Yeah,
Baltimore.
do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know that? Well, you know because you were there.
Yep, I
But people are going up to Jeff all weekend long saying "whooping it up, mosquito style,"
Yeah, they were saying that,
and they were saying, "Let's make some merch money."
they were saying that, and then I guess
And then they walked past their
and they walk by. Unless you're Kane Hodder, and you stop by and you talk with us, and we like, all right, Kane, have a T-shirt.
Yeah, we had a twofer on that one.
Yeah,
So
because-
we had fun though. We had a load of fun.
You know what? Right now, when it comes to the horror realm and going to this horror stuff, I'm pot committed. I'm pot committed.
Okay, that phrase 1,000 times I got to listen to over the weekend.
That's on the next
But
T-shirt.
we were having a lot of fun at that event.
Yeah.
It was a great time, and we hope all of you can come out next year in March again.
In
March.
Yep.
I almost said it
And-
wrong. Thank you for being here for me.
One thing before we get into my movie.
Yeah.
Tom Savini. This is the deal here, bud. All right. I'm really. You know what? You wait till I leave on Sunday before you show up in Horror Realm. You want some of this? I saw you in Dust to Dawn. You ain't that big of a deal. You just make sure you stop by my table next year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
Tom
problem.
Savini. Yeah, so we're
I
driving
know.
home. We're driving home, and Adam goes.
Yeah.
You tell him because you were. I was
Yeah,
driving.
Adam says, "You won't believe who just showed up." I'm like, you gotta be kidding.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there he is, Tom Savini.
Yeah.
And I think he was looking for you, Jeff.
No. Yeah,
I think he was.
I think he was, but he wasn't. He's
Right.
like, there's a good chance he won't be here. He didn't want to be here with me.
I don't think we're seeing it in the chat room right now. He just couldn't
Yeah, he
compete. Couldn't compete.
He wasn't. He's not as pot committed as I am.
Nobody is as
That's
pot
the new
committed.
T-shirt. That's the new T-shirt. Pot
The-
committed.
You know what? We don't need more T-shirts.
Get
Just so
pot
you know,
committed.
they're very heavy.
They are. They are.
Very heavy.
All right, so let's get on to my show. My show. You know what? My headache's going away. I got second wind here.
Here
Let's
we
do it.
go. And let's remember, if you want to send your email to Jeff, it's jeff@otherworldlyculture.com. You can send that email and make sure that you subscribe to us in YouTube.
What? Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Yeah, because people have been asking me how.
Yeah,
to do
you don't subscribe, and it kind of upsets me, buddy.
Well, no, you can just go to it and watch our show too. Why would you Why would you want to subscribe if you can just go there and watch? Do we get any money if they subscribe?
I don't care.
No. Well, why would someone?
I
Subscribe?
don't care about
they
any
would
of that.
subscribe- Wait,
If we cared about people watching
Wait.
the show,
if they subscribed, it means that they just get it when it drops.
you can ask to be notified. And I think that one buddy of yours was telling
Yeah.
me he gets notified
Yeah.
because we're awesome.
Thank God this isn't Jaws week. I have to. This is Jawsome. I don't know. That kind of triggers me. I'm sorry.
I have a bad feeling about this. We seem to be made to suffer.
I don't even know what that said. Anyway,
Okay.
Get your picture out there. Let's see some pictures of my movie. So I had.
That's the appropriate first shot.
Yeah, no, there.
Oh, there
You know
it
what? You
is.
should have made all of them her. I would take. That would be great. All right, so here we go. I have the 1996.
I didn't go for the easy 10, but okay.
Okay, I went for the. All right. Anyways, wait, I gotta start concentrating here. I went.
Yes, you do.
This is-
Don't look at the screen when
There,
Salma's
oh my
up.
goodness, damn. All right, so this is the 1996 hour and 48-minute R-rated movie From Dusk Till Dawn.
It's not just R-rated. It's really R-rated.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
okay, so
come
here-
on.
That's one you shouldn't have put up. I don't need to see that. so
The
anyway,
critique of the clips
the
is
cool-
going on as well.
so the cool thing about this movie, so right
Yeah.
away you can tell,
There
for
he
me,
is.
you can tell that Quentin Tarantino, who is George Clooney's brother in this movie, that he has a very, his hands are all over this movie. I could tell right away that this was a Quentin Tarantino joint effort, right? Is right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because, and you know how I could tell? Because when they're driving away in this car, he does this thing where he's got the person that's in the trunk, but they do like an X-ray, like you can see the person in there.
In the trunk, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's done that in other movies or something, but I could tell right away that it had a Quentin Tarantino feel to it.
Yeah.
Everything from, and even the way that Quentin was in here, you could tell he had an influence on himself, how he acted in this movie.
I should
that-
hope that he influenced his own performance.
I know, but you know what? He himself kind of creeps me out. Quentin Tarantino is a kind of creepy guy in a way. And
He's got a serious foot fetish.
He does, and he does it in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple different times in this movie, but
Yes.
we don't want to get into that. So this is
No.
what's going down. All right.
Here's what's going down.
So hold on. Now,
Hold on. Quiet. Listen.
So, and the cool other thing about this is that it jumps right into the action. I mean, it jumps into the action where you're already into a scene. or
It
something.
jumps into some action, yes.
Right, because they're in this liquor store. So what happens is these two bank robbers probably robbed a bank or whatever, and they're on their way to Mexico, and they're going to be shooting through this town. But they're going to come through this town, and that's where everything starts to snowball because they're already in the town.
Right.
And I don't want to give away too much because I really don't want to. I do want to tell this movie, but you do such a good job at critiquing these. I'm going to try to pull my inner Tim. So
Most people would consider that a plus.
anyways, and George Clooney.
You're so full of shit.
And George Clooney, see, now you're swearing.
Oh, stop it. Don't swear.
George Clooney,
Bitch.
the thing that irritates me about George Clooney in this movie is he plays his George Clooney role. He plays the same roles he played in Ocean's 11, the same thing he played in Out of Sight. It's that sort of like, but wait, and that sort of like attitude that he has in here. It's very George Clooney-ish in that respect, okay?
The funny part is it wasn't written for him. There was like
Nope.
1,000
It
people
was
that
supposed to
they
be for
tried to give it to.
Mel Gibson. This was supposed to be
Mel Gibson, I heard John Travolta, and he decided to do Pulp Fiction instead.
Louis Anderson.
This would have been a very different movie. with-
Louis Anderson was one of the last ones that was available to do this, but he turned it down for Family Feud. So, anyways, well, let's get back to this.
Yeah, he's feeling better,
No.
folks.
So, anyways, back
Jeff
to,
is back.
back to this movie. So now what happens is these two bank robbers, right?
Yes.
They have a situation that explodes in front of them where they got to get over the border, but they have no way of getting there. So what they do is they find this family, and the family's name is, they're the Sawyer family? No. They're the Fuller family, and that's Harvey Keitel.
They
Julia Lewis.
actually went on to make a spin-off on Disney Plus called Fuller House.
Okay, now we're even.
Okay.
For my Louis Anderson thing. All right. So, anyways, so they come across this
Oh my God,
family
Sala.
that's in. Stop. They come across this family that's at the motel that they're staying at, the Fuller
Yes.
family, and this
Yeah.
family is Harvey Keitel. He is an ex-priest. He kind of left the priesthood, whatever. He's got his son and his daughter there. His wife died, and George Clooney's like, "Hey, you're getting us across the Mexican border." Mm-hmm. Well, they get him across the border. Okay, that's fine. But then what's going to happen is the reason why they got to get across the border is because they're meeting up with another guy that's going to take them to El Rey, right?
El Rey, which is
like a town for gangsters.
Yeah, it's
It's like a town for all like hoodlums and gangsters.
It reminds me of, is it Tortuga?
Yeah.
Where all the pirates would hang out?
Yeah.
It's kind of that idea.
So, hey, one cool thing here. So when you watch this movie, Cheech Moran, he's in there. He plays 3 different parts. He plays the Border Patrol. He plays the guy, the bouncer at the... Can I say...
He isn't the bouncer. He's more of the hawker.
Okay,
what do you call it? He's the guy trying to draw people into this den of iniquity. That is the titty twister.
Yeah, titty twister.
Titty twister.
You know, on TV when they advertise this, they call it the kitty twister. Because they couldn't...
Why would you twist the kitty?
Because you can't
That makes no sense.
Anyways, and then he's also the guy that Clooney is supposed to meet at dawn to take him to El Rey. So he plays
I'm a little upset about the animal abuse that's
talk to PETA.
being referenced.
Talk to PETA. So anyways, they go to the titty twister, right? And they're in there.
Thank God there's no cats around.
Right. And what it is it's like a strip club bar, and it's for truckers and motorcyclists that are just passing through.
Is it like a strip club bar? It seems like it's just plain strip club.
No, we have alcohol there.
Isn't there alcohol at strip clubs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but bars have
because I'm an
too.
Innocent babe in the woods.
Well, and they also have a band. So I mean,
they do have a band, and it's actually
that band is awesome. But you know what about the band? You know this. The guy who directed this, what's his name?
Robert Rodriguez.
Yep, that's his band. He's the lead singer in that band.
Yeah, and it's Tito and the Tarantulas.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're back to this bar / strip club, right? And so they go in there, and whatever, they're sitting down. But the thing of it is that how old is Juliette Lewis supposed to be in this? I mean, is she supposed to be 16, 18?
That is a great question because there's definitely like a chemistry supposed to happen between George Clooney and Juliette Lewis. And there has to be 15 years difference between them.
Right. And
right?
Right. I'm thinking that both kids are like high school age. That's what I'm thinking that this movie's supposed to be. But
yes.
And then she's pounding back a few drinks.
I think she literally is supposed to age 7 years from the beginning of the movie to the end. Because she's acting extremely high school.
Right.
At the beginning.
Right.
And by the end, we're supposed to kind of take her as a possible love interest for George Clooney.
Thank you.
It's so screwed up.
I'm glad that George Clooney said, you know what, I'm out of here.
I don't need to go to jail for this.
Right. Is that what he said?
I got plenty of other things I'm going to jail for. No, he didn't.
So inside this bar, you have Danny Trejo, the machete guy, right?
Right.
Is that how? Is
Trejo.
that right?
Trejo.
Okay, so he's in there. I recognized him right away. He was in...
he was young in this. I was like, man. Yeah. And then I realized, this movie's old.
I know. That sort of made me think, too, thinking it came out, 96. You have the sex machine, Tom Savini, baby.
Okay, so we've been all waiting for this. So I am going to stop the show for this.
Okay.
Tom Savini, he's been stalking you. And... you didn't know anything about him. Nope. This is probably his biggest on-screen role, I would say, arguably.
Okay.
What did you think of the sex machine?
He was just okay. He was just okay. I mean, he played a biker, and he filled that biker role. He was okay. He's obviously a makeup special effects guy.
Yeah.
But as far as acting, he was just okay.
Here's the thing I'm going to tell you. When we're done with the season, which is about a month away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you think of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
You tell me which character you think of first. Because every time I think about this, Salma Hayek. But when I think of a male person, it's always Tom Savini.
Yeah,
it's such an interesting...
It's an interesting
character.
It is. He's got
the best part is the way they introduce him.
Yes.
Where he's walking with the young girl and she says, "Oh, my name, what is it, Kate? Yeah. Hi, I'm Kate." And he goes, Yeah, I'm Sex Machine.
Yeah, like nothing.
Like this is a normal
like that's his
name.
real name. Yeah.
I just love it. And he's saying it. See, this is another point where that joke doesn't work if she's 20. It works because she's underage.
Right.
That
right,
it's so inappropriate.
right.
I.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's. You're right.
That's
I mean,
one of the main problems with this movie is Juliette Lewis's character.
Well, that too, and the fact that when people were getting bit by vampires.
Yes.
Okay, wait. I can't skip to this. So all of a sudden, okay, I just gotta get up to the vampire part.
Yeah.
So they're in this bar, right? They're like, what they have to do is they have to wait for their connection. They have
Right.
to wait until dawn. Okay.
Right.
And they're in here, locked in here, whatever. And all of a sudden, Selma comes out on stage and she's doing her dance, and
A very sexy dance.
it's fantastic. It's really the
stuff.
only. If you want to just watch that part of the movie, you'll be fine. So, anyways, yeah, you can go to sleep.
This
You
is
go
why.
back.
This is, by the way, Jeff begged for this
Yes.
movie because he wanted to see what was the context of
Yep,
this.
I did, and it was very well worth it. But anyways, so what happens though is that
They make you wait an hour for that scene.
they do.
Yeah.
Man, look at just.
Oh, she was so yummy.
Okay, so anyways,
Yeah.
back to the thing. So she
We keep taking breaks.
she turns into a vampire, and we find out that this place has got vampires in it. And what they really does is they're feasting on the truckers and the motorcycle guys that are passing through. Okay?
Right.
But the thing that gets me, Tim, is that, all right, so these people got bit by these vampires, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't turn into vampires right away.
No.
But then when Tom Savini turned into a vampire, it took him a little while. And then when someone else when Fred Williamson turned into a vampire, it was like almost automatic. So why did it take different times for different people to turn into vampires?
I have the answer for you.
Good.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, and then Harvey Keitel, he said, I got a half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. The reason is everybody's got a different metabolism.
Oh.
Everybody has a different metabolism. So, like, we could both eat the same thing, and it could affect my body very differently than your body.
And that's how vampires work?
And kind of like caffeine. Some people drink caffeine, they're wired for 3 months. Other people drink caffeine, and it actually cools them out.
That's good to know. Hey,
So, this is just, though, if you know, you know. I went so far for that one, but
you
it was
did.
worth it.
But okay, so they're all turning into vampires, and Savini gets bit. And he's like, "Son of a bitch!" He doesn't say that, but you can tell.
God damn it!
You can tell he's thinking. You can tell he's thinking that because he's like, "Son of a bitch." But he actually, because of who he is, his vampire turned out to be like the coolest because it turned into like almost like a dog vampire or something, like a fly or a flea or something. I don't even know exactly what it was, but it because he pulled off his head because Savini was using a whip, so they used the whip on him and they ripped off his head.
He makes a comment about losing your head being if you hit somebody hard enough, your head would come off, and
So then he turns into a more wicked vampire, which props on him because he's the special effects guy and the makeup guy, so good for him. Fred Williamson, who played Frost, you never hear his name on set.
Yeah.
But he looked really familiar. He had to have been in some other movie that I've seen.
He did a lot of what are commonly known as the blaxploitation films.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All those Super Bad and that sort of stuff.
Jackie Brown or whatever.
Yeah, he was in all of those. I mean, he just was. And that is a time period that Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez really love, which is why they made the movie Grindhouse together.
Yeah.
All those
Grindhouse.
years later. So they're very close friends, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin. And Quentin's
weird.
wrote this entire thing. It was actually his first paid gig.
Yeah, he got $1,500 or something for it.
Yeah, little did they know he could command higher salaries.
He could,
later
but
on.
he's a weird dude. You know what? Just how he even acts. He's a weird dude.
He was Me Too'd.
And then
he was Me Too'd.
Was he?
Oh yeah.
And then he shot through his hand. I didn't get that. He still move his hand. I didn't get that too much. But anyway, so now back to the movie. How much can I spoil this at all or not really?
Let's not spoil everything.
Okay.
We're letting the cat out of the bag that there's vampires in it, and you wait how long for that? You're waiting an hour before you get to that bar.
But the thing of it is, though, is that I honestly, and I know you say this is a vampire movie, and I'm not doing it to be the devil's advocate here, but I look at this honestly more as an action film.
As a crime film?
I don't know if crime so much. I think just action. It's just there's all action.
Yeah, there's a lot of action.
I'll tell you what. I can tell you where the horror comes in. I actually started getting very anxious when it was them against all the vampires, and then when the bats came and the place is filling up, I felt very, very anxious because I'm like, how are they going to get out of this? What's going to happen? And no, seriously, that's where I got anxious. That's where I started getting nervous.
I know the copy of this movie that you watched did not have 5.1 surround. I had 5.1 surround going over here. Those freaking bats are everywhere. I was looking around. I'm like, where are those goddamn things? And in my basement, I'm always worried now. And I'm looking around. I'm like, where are these bats? They were flying everywhere.
And I think that's what gets me when it comes to horror movies. I'm finding that when I feel anxious is when I get scared, and that's when I started getting like, holy cow, what's going to happen? I know nothing's going to happen to me,
right?
And that's where Halloween is different than this, where I can be afraid of both of these. But this one, I felt like, how are they going to get out of this?
Violated. I felt violated.
But for me, it was a really good movie as far as it. It started out, and like I said, if you watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, if you watch Pulp Fiction or Hateful Eight or whatever, you're gonna see a pattern to his type of movies. There's a lot of cross references in this movie too.
Yes,
like the foot thing. He's got the foot thing in another one.
He's got so much foot things with Salma's foot. Yeah, and her sticking her foot in Quentin's mouth and everything. Yep. He must have been having a ball with that.
And John Travolta, he was supposed to actually play this part, but he didn't. He passed on. He wanted to do Pulp
Fiction. He decided to do Pulp Fiction. I believe, well, I saw it in the chat room. Yeah, Pulp Fiction came out 2 years before this movie came out.
But I'm sure he was asked about it. I mean, sure they were in process of writing it or wanting him to star in it.
Oh, right? Yeah. I mean, Quentin Tarantino, this was supposedly his first writing that he was paid for, but he was a script doctor in Hollywood. So, what's a regular doctor? Somebody who fixes something that's sick, right?
Yeah.
He would be a person that was brought in to, hey, the script needs better dialogue. He would go and rewrite some dialogue for him. And he was very good at that. In fact, I know a few of the movies, like Crimson Tide was one he was brought in on. And you can sit there while watching the movie and go, well, that's definitely Quentin Tarantino scene. Because there's the mile-a-minute dialogue, and there's this and there's that. So he was a growing scriptwriter. He loved movies that were exploitation and horror because he was a video store clerk, and he just watched movie after movie after movie.
You know what scene was very kind of also disturbing is the one where he offed the woman in the room.
I love the way they shot
They did that flash. That was creepy. That was pretty creepy. Yeah. Because they would do that 1 second flash.
And you know that scene that George Clooney was seeing, it probably took some poor the makeup crew and everything. It probably took them all day to set that up.
Yeah.
And there's maybe 8 frames in the movie
but
out there, but it's scarier that way.
That's also very much Quentin Tarantino feeling that. One thing I wanted to say, because then I know we got to get moving on here, is that Kelly Preston's in this because of John Travolta. That was his wife at the time, and because of Quentin Tarantino, she got to play the reporter in there, which I thought was pretty cool. I love Kelly Preston.
I do too. I think she was an underused actress of the time.
Okay, so let me give you my grade because we need to keep moving on here, right?
Give me the number.
The number.
Here, I'll help you.
No. Nah, it's not listening.
I'm very curious where you fall on this.
Yeah, this is gonna be a solid 8.
Really?
Yeah, solid 8.
That high? Good.
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't sure. I was like, this might be a little too gory
No,
for
it really wasn't.
for you.
It really wasn't, and
Okay.
I think it would have been like a 1, but then Selma gave it 7 more points. And
Well, she has a lot of points to her.
but anyways, no,
She's got a lot of points.
But see, this is a movie that another one where I know I could watch this again. This is
Sure.
like I said, it's more action for me. It's more action than anything.
I have to say, watching it again this time, I was frustrated. I'm like, get to the vampires, get to the vampires, get to the vampires. So,
Anyways,
all right.
but yeah, so that's that.
You know what time it is, everybody. All of you out there waiting for trivia.
Oh, is that live? Did you do that live?
What? You saying trivia? Yeah, I did that live.
Oh, I thought that was some audio.
Right in the room.
Great.
Right in the room, pal. Okay, let me make sure you don't have your chat up so you can sit there and watch it.
I don't.
Because I know how you are.
You want to ask me first, or should I ask you first?
Why don't you ask first? This is all part of the strategy, folks.
Yeah, I know.
Strategy.
Strategy. All right.
What is it called again? Knuckleheads? Leatherheads?
Leatherheads.
Yeah.
Off.
You could have had that as the trivia question. I would have got
George
it
Clooney, along with Laura Dern, Charlie Sheen, are the first ones killed in the 2020 Grizzly 2 that was originally shot in 1983.
wrong. Okay, I've never seen the film, so okay.
Offset, George Clooney won a $2,000 bet beating Jim Krasinski in a game of one-on-one basketball while they were doing this movie.
Possible that they could do that, yeah.
And neither Renee Zellweger or George Clooney have won an Oscar.
George Clooney or Renee Zellweger. I know they've both been nominated a number of times. Have they won? I thought George Clooney got one. Well, he produced Argo, so the best film, but a lot of people don't consider that you won the Oscar. Argo did get an award. That one's tough, but I'm going to say Jim Krasinski probably didn't have $200,000 to screw around with.
It was 2,000.
Oh, 2,000?
Yeah.
That changes it a lot.
See how nice I am? I could have just went, yeah, go ahead, 200,000.
Yeah. I'm going to say that George Clooney has won an Oscar. I forget which movie, but I think he did win an Oscar. I know he won one for Argo, but people probably don't count that.
But you know I mentioned Renee Zellweger also, right?
Right.
Okay.
So it has to be both?
I said Renee Zellweger and George Clooney have not won an Oscar.
Oh, you're saying both of them have not won Oscars.
Right.
See, I would take that if one of them won an Oscar, this becomes a false statement. You're
Well,
saying
you could say
both
that
of
way.
them have to not.
Well, no, you can do it your way too. Which one do you want to take?
I do think George Clooney won an Oscar, so I'm just going to go with C.
Yeah, see, that's the third one I asked. Yeah, they both have won 2 Oscars each.
So I was correct.
Yes.
All right. That was tough.
No, it wasn't.
You are an ass.
You play with me on that.
You are an ass. Because I wasn't quite sure. Renee won 2?
Yep.
For what? She's not. McGuire.
No.
No?
Cold Mountain and
I don't even know that movie.
and something else. She won actress awards.
It had to be Bridget Jones. And
No,
that's
it wasn't
rather
that either.
big.
It wasn't that either.
All right. I think you're gonna get this one. I think this is
Yeah, I
easy
know.
to, based on some of the shit you were saying during the.
Yeah, I know myself.
You know, sometimes we're in the middle of the review, and I'm like, God damn, I know he knows this now. God damn it. But we're going to try it anyway. Michael Parks played the Texas Ranger in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, should I not have this up?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Michael Parks played the Texas Ranger. There was a TV series of From Dusk Till Dawn, and in the TV series, Don Johnson played that role.
Okay.
Letter B.
Yeah.
Your friend Tom Savini didn't do the makeup on this film. It was somebody else.
Okay.
Letter C. To ensure Clooney's tattoo would be the same throughout the film, he had a henna tattoo applied instead of standard makeup. His skin actually reacted to it, and it took about 7 months to wear off. That did not make the people at ER very happy. So, again, Don Johnson as the Texas Ranger in the TV series, Tom Savini not doing makeup in the film, or George Clooney had a henna tattoo on it. That's a tattoo on his neck.
Yeah. Well, actually, the way that you worded all these, they're all difficult for me because,
Really?
well, I'm going to say Savini did do the makeup, even though I think you're setting me up with that because I would think that he did it, but he really didn't. But I don't think that one's good. Don Johnson, would Don Johnson have played so this is going to be like around the late 90s. So
The TV series was quite a bit afterwards.
like in the 2000s.
I think even like the 2010s.
Okay, and then
It was for the El Rey network.
okay,
I'll tell you, at least that part of
it's true.
the story is true. That From Dusk Till Dawn did have a TV series that ran for 3 seasons. By the way, folks, only watch the first and the third season. The second season's a waste. But it was for a new cable channel called El Rey.
Okay, so then, and then the one about the tattoo. So I never watched ER. He would have to be in Scrubbed a lot in Scrubs.
Well, they got makeup.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm saying that it wore off, not that they didn't make up over it.
It wore off or it didn't wear off?
After, what did I have, 7 months? 7 months it wore off.
Oh my God, that's way too long for that. That's not even the case. All right, so, but that would make that one false then. And that would mean Don Johnson.
Now remember, you're picking the false one.
I know, but then that would mean that
Which one am I lying about?
But that Don Johnson one,
I lie a lot.
I'm
This
gonna
is
say-
killing you. I thought you'd pick this
I
one
think
out.
B. I think you're screwing me with B. I think B is going to be. I'm not saying it's my answer. I think that one's going to be false because you know how I know that he does makeup and all that stuff. You're like, oh, he probably did this, but he probably didn't. All right, it's going to be C. C is the false one.
The henna tattoo.
Yes, C is false.
That's what you're going to pick.
Yeah, C is false.
Motherfucker.
Yes. Yes.
Motherfucker.
Talk my way through that, baby. Whew.
Yeah. Actually, Tom Savini did not do the makeup. It was a gentleman by the name of Greg Nicotero. He is part of what is the famous KNB makeup group. But he obviously was very sympathetic to the makeup guys and allowed himself to go through
That's
some
what
of
I'm
the
talking
stuff.
about because I actually didn't even read it the right way.
Now,
Yes.
here were some of them that I didn't use. These are true statements. Salma Hayek actually has a fear of snakes.
I knew that.
I knew you would know
I knew
that
that.
one. That's why that one wasn't used. This one, I'm not sure if you would have got. Director Robert Rodriguez also created the family-friendly Spy Kids franchise.
No, I wouldn't have got that. But if it would have been up against George Clooney one, I probably would have got it. I would have talked myself through that.
Yeah. So you did very well.
Thank
I
you.
did okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I didn't gain any ground. I lost ground. It's
Well, your
all but
movie,
done.
your movie sucked a little bit. Actually, it you know, I hate saying that because it had so much potential. It had so much potential, but I
24
am
points.
pulling away.
14
But
points.
keep in mind, we got a lot of movies to watch. We got 3 more movies, and there's like 15 points every week, and there's only a 15-point spread.
14.
Who's counting?
All right. Anyways, what do we got for next week, Tim?
So let's talk about next week. And you actually knew to ask for the preview.
You know what?
I
Before you do
forget a
that-
lot of times.
Oh, can you go back? Before you do that, you know what? I feel like that 1 week that I missed that trivia question,
Yeah.
that must have been so devastating because I felt like I missed a lot of trivia questions. That one must have just like...
You don't take failure very well, Jeff.
No, but I actually not doing too bad.
No,
on trivia.
we're both doing good on
All right,
trivia
let's do next week. Who cares?
this season.
Who cares?
Last season, I was stinking up the joint on trivia.
Smelled it here.
Fuck you.
All
right. Hey, hit the
All right.
bell.
So
Great movies coming up next week. Great. Don't make me come over there. Great movies. I'm going to be talking about One-on-One.
So One-on-One is a basketball movie. It's
You know how I know that's a basketball movie?
Because he's got his arm around a girl and he's close to her basketballs.
Yeah, and he appears to be on drugs.
No, here's the thing. This is a very, very 70s movie. The cool thing is the coach in here is the head coach in North Dallas 40. So he kind of got typecast in this kind of a role during that time of his life. This is a really good movie. This is a really good movie. It's about a small town kid that goes to big town LA to play basketball.
And I will tell you if Jeff is right next week, March 17th, here on Dead on the Bases.
Yes.
I gave Jeff an absolute joy for him to watch Dead Calm. Have you seen this one?
Nope, but I heard a lot about it.
You're going to love it. That is not Sigourney Weaver in the bag. That's Nicole Kidman in one of her first roles. Sam Neill from Jurassic Park is in this film. And Billy Zane from Titanic in his best role ever.
This is only 3 people in this whole movie, right? Pretty much that's for the most
Pretty
of the
much.
movie.
I think there's like some other, like a doctor or something at some point. But really, it's 3 people in the movie.
And that's what I heard about this. I mean, okay, real quick.
It's an Australian film. We're already over.
We mentioned Farmore, right?
Yeah.
And I used to manage the video department. I heard that this movie was good, and I would just pimp this movie all the time. People are like, hey, you know a good movie? I'm like, Dead Calm. So I pimped this movie. I didn't even know if it was good or not. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
I think, honestly, this might be the sleeper in this season for you. Because I was shocked when you first loved Happy Death Day. I was like, holy shit. And Trick or Treat, I had no idea you were going to like that one as much. I think this one is going to get high marks. I really do. I think it's down your alley. There is absolutely no Satanism in the entire film, which that's important. No exorcism scene.
Are you telling the truth? What's that?
No, why did that go on? That's wrong. That's right.
Wow, Tim. Like a dead mouse.
I'm tired.
All right.
Okay, that's not even funny. Jeff can pimp it to himself.
I know, I never watched it. I could have, but I didn't. All right, anyways.
I don't get that. Why didn't you watch it?
It's a freaking horror movie, man. I'm not gonna find myself.
And there are going to be people.
It has the word dead in it. Why would I watch that?
There are people that are going to disagree with me that it's a horror movie. They'll say it's a thriller.
Ooh. Michael Jackson's in it.
Yeah. This, I think, is more clearly a horror film than Mr. Brooks was.
Okay.
But there are people that are going to say, it's very... I don't like getting real deep on those fights as to, is it a thriller, is it a horror movie? I'm like, I'm giving Jeff good movies because I want a good score.
That's right.
And when I give you crappy movies, you let me know pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think I was spot on with this one this week.
This one, I was surprised. I thought you weren't going to quite do... Oh, God. I see a Ted Savini reference in there. Okay. So, anyway, we're going to finish up.
That person's pot committed.
Oh, look at this. All the help we would have had if we looked in the chat.
Good.
But we don't, because we play fair and square, don't we, buddy?
Hell yeah.
Except for when I want to win. All right.
Thank you.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have to do my final.
Oh my goodness.
My final bit here. And where is my cursor? You know, the screen is so large I can't find the cursor sometimes. Anyway, hey everybody. Remember, it's time to close the crypt Dude, close the cryptic, call the game. Thank you all for watching, and remember to share and subscribe to our show and the feed. You can find the show at otherworldlyculture.com and follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and other fine places that you find podcasts. So as we say every week, if it's sports, it's a home run. If it's horror, run home! We're dead on the bases, and we'll see you next time. Now we get that. You ain't kidding.
I know.
You ain't kidding.
Oh, yeah, wait till this is.
Put that on a loop. That would be the crowd when Salma comes out.
They're all cheering for me, actually.
Are they? I heard that about you.
Yeah.
Here comes the flame.
Yeah. You did a good job with that this week with the flame with the merchandise.
Yeah, where I played the closing twice? Yeah, I agree.
No, with the merchandise.
Just keep playing that over and over.